Hey guys, welcome to the Giving Up Halfway League Week 1 recap show. I really need to figure out a way to shorten that up. Hold on. Ghoul. G-U-H-L. Giving Up Halfway League. Ghoul! Yes! I gotta say, the first week was awesome. Our league was riddled with great matchups and even a few close games. I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean, well, if you're my brother, probably nothing because he made David look really, really bad this week. But this week's show is going to be a bit longer than the weeks to come because I have a lot to show you guys, a lot in store for you. I have some weekly awards and some other info. But I'm going to explain a little bit how I come to make those decisions on those awards and how I get that information. But after this week, it's probably going to be a breeze because I just really hate watching videos of myself talking. So let me start by saying that there were some great games this week. Several games started out looking like a blowout, but ended up fairly close by the end of Monday night. But each week, I'm going to be selecting a game of the week. And to decide this, I'm going to be considering things like a high or even a close final score. But also, I'm personally watching all of y'all's matchups from Thursday night all the way through the end of Monday night to keep an eye out for any comebacks. So with that being said, the game of the week goes to Sydney versus Alex. Alex managed to get his first ever win in the Ghoul League. I really hope Ghoul sticks, by the way. But it definitely was not easy, because this matchup was the closest out of all of our games. The final score was 121.5 to 105.44, a deficit for Sydney of only 16.06 points. Honestly, it doesn't really tell the whole story of the matchup, because after the 4 p.m. Eastern games on Sunday, Sydney was down 43.96 points, which means in just the Sunday night games alone, she was able to mount an impressive comeback and brought the score to 110.8 to 105.44. But needless to say, it wasn't enough. So congratulations and a big screw you to Alex, because he got his first win, and he's my rival now. But anyway, let's move on to the stud and dud of the week. The stud of the week will be the team with the most points scored. And obviously, the dud of the week is going to be with the lowest points. Simple as that. So this week's stud of the week is Ethan Moyer. The owner of this year's number 1 pick managed to get 152.76 points this week. Congrats, Ethan, on your huge, massive, sizable point total. The dud of the week goes to none other than David Brown.
Oh my God! Why did I start an injured Kenny Galladay? Why? And the Eagles lost too?
David came in with a point total of 99.1 points, which honestly really isn't that bad if you look at the other points scored by some of us. I myself have personally scored much lower than that, and I probably will this year, to be honest. So no fear, David. Your season is still looking up, but not for the Eagles. Sorry. I mean, they lost to a team that doesn't have a name, and their quarterback is Dwayne Haskins. Come on. All right, so now let's take a look at the top scoring players of the week. So I'm going to be looking at the top 3 scoring players that managed to secure a spot in our starting lineups. And we'll take a look at the bench players here in a little bit. But coming in at the top spot was Devontae Adams. He's wide receiver for the Packers. He had 41.6 points for Marissa. Marissa has to be pleased with that performance, and if he keeps it up, he's definitely going to be able to secure some more wins for her like she did in week 1. At number 2, we have Josh Jacobs, running back for the Raiders. He had 35.9 points for Ryan. Jacobs was a huge part of Ryan's victory against myself, but Ryan won't be the only one that's happy about Josh Jacobs' performance. Wink.
Duh, Raiders!
And the third top scorer this week was Calvin Ridley, wide receiver for the Falcons, and he had 33.9 points for CC. And honestly, that was the biggest surprise for me this week. Obviously, Julio Jones, the number 1 receiver in Atlanta, but Ridley came up with a huge performance and really helped CC secure that win against Wink this week. All right, so now let's look at our top bench players this week. I want to do this each week to really make you guys think about how you're setting your lineups each week, because some of these guys might have helped you win. You never know, except for David. Unfortunately, he was blown out by Ethan. Anyway, let's take a look. So the top player on the bench this week was Darius Slayton, wide receiver for the Giants, and he had 28.2 points on the bench for David. Unfortunately, starting him wouldn't really have made a difference in the outcome in David's game against Ethan, but it would have kept him from being the dud of the week. So, something to keep in mind there, DB. The number 2 bench player was Josh Allen, quarterback for the Bills. He had 28.12 points for Marissa. Honestly, a little irrelevant for her because her starting quarterback, Russell Wilson, outperformed Josh Allen. So honestly, Marissa, you're looking pretty good at the quarterback position right now. But the number 3 bench player this week was Cam Newton, quarterback of the Patriots. Still really weird to say that. But he had 25.7 points on the bench for Ryan. Honestly, Ryan, you did win this week, but Cam did outperform Deshaun Watson. So that's something you want to keep in mind moving forward. Next, we're going to look at the top free agents of the week. These are going to be guys that are on nobody's roster, but they scored a lot of points this week. So if you're looking to pick up anybody, this section is for you. Number 1, we have Nyheim Hines. He's a running back for the Colts, and he had 27.3 points this week. And honestly, his fantasy value is going up because Marlon Mack, another running back for the Colts, just got lost to injury. So Nyheim Hines might be a really good pickup moving forward. At number 2, we have Malcolm Brown. He's a running back for the Rams. He had 26 points this week, and A, I didn't know this guy. I don't know who he is. And B, the Rams don't really have a clear-cut starter. So I was a little surprised he got this many points this week. So he could be good, maybe not. We'll see. But he did have a pretty huge performance in week 1. And number 3 was Ben Roethlisberger, quarterback for the Steelers. He had 22.06 points this week, which isn't necessarily fantastic. But if you're looking for a backup quarterback, this could be a good pickup for you. Alright, so each week I'm going to try and come up with a fun fact of the week. And this is going to be something that isn't really quite obvious to us, hopefully, and just something we wouldn't have otherwise noticed. But this week's fun fact is that after Sunday's games going into Monday, both Ryan and Alex had exactly 110.8 points. And I just found that interesting because a lot has to happen for 2 teams to have even remotely similar points. But I'm personally looking forward to some more weird and interesting facts this season. Alright, so let's look ahead to next week. And I know it's a little early, but each week I'm going to be announcing the next week's matchup of the week. And this time, that's going to go to Ryan versus Cece. Both of them won their week 1 matches, and they're the only matchup next week that involves 2 people who won their week 1 matches. So we're going to be looking to find out which one of these 2 is going to be earning the first loss of the season. And as the season progresses, hopefully the matchup of the week is going to be a little bit more intensive. So that's it, everyone. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned next week for the next week's weekly recap. So enjoy your week. Go out there and see if you can improve your lineups. And as always, don't forget to set your lineup, David Brown. Until next time.